Poptropicans, Captain Crawfish here. One of our featured islands of the month for January is the classic Time Tangled Island. This one's been around for a while, but if you've never beaten it before, or if you just want to get your hands on some sweet bonus credits for playing it this month only, I'll show you how to do it. Let's get started. Now there's an Easter egg right at the start of this island. You don't need to do this at all, but if you click on this crab several times quickly, it will explode. But don't worry about the crab, it'll reassemble itself in a few moments, but I always do it when I play this island. It's kind of like a good luck charm. It's like touching the horseshoe before I get started. Anyway, head on to the right to get playing Time Tangled Island for real. There's not much to do on this main street scene, just talk to this person and she'll tell you that there's trouble in the lab. Go on in. Once inside the lab, you can talk to these characters to find out a little bit more. Something about history's messed up, somebody needs to fix it. This is the sort of thing where if you know what to do, if you're replaying this island, it isn't necessary to talk to them or even to get that item that I just got. But if you've never played it or if you really want to sink your teeth into the story, this is where you can find out about all the things that have gone mixed up in the timelines throughout history and why you need to go to all these different historical periods and return them to, you know, proper history. So charge up the machine, jump inside, and now we'll head into the future. So here we are in this horrible, bombed-out dystopian future. There only seems to be one person here, and it is actually your character 50 years in the future. No matter what you look like, whatever you're wearing, whatever hair you have, you'll see the aged version of your exact character. This character will tell you that you need to go fix everything and give you a very special and very cool item to do so, the time device, which is a sort of a magical pocket watch. You can open it from the icon on screen or from your inventory. Once it's open, you can pick any time period to go to. And once you select it, press the green button on the side, and you will warp right there. So let's start with the first one to the right from the lab. This is ancient Greece. More than even a lot of other Poptropica islands, you can do this one in just about any order. All of the time periods have something missing, and they all contain something that shouldn't be there. So there are probably optimal ways. I'd actually be very curious if anybody out there does Time Tangled Island speed runs and how quickly you can really get through this. I'm not so much worried about that now, but I'm going to just kind of go around and look for what I can find in each one of these and what may be missing in each one of them. So here, you see if you follow the path that I took, is the phonograph, which I'll return to Thomas Edison later. But having now found the out-of-place item, I'll just go to the next time period, and I'll kind of keep moving along like this. So here we are in Viking times. It's a Viking voyage that has gotten stranded on this island. They won't go out to sea without a good luck charm, and it occurs to me now that this is one of the few that you can't really do anything in when you first show up here, but you know, we'll look around anyway just so we know what to do later. To the right here we got a few more Vikings. There's a cave up here that's walled off, can't get in there yet. And there's one other Easter egg in this scene over to the right, which I'll show you how to get there later. You see that kind of Viking costume up there. Anyway, not very much more I can do here. I'll just talk to these guys real quick and make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I didn't. Alright, we'll hit up the time device, go to the next period, which is the Mali Empire, and I find myself in Timbuktu. If you've ever heard somebody tell you that they'll send you to Timbuktu, this is actually what they mean. It's a real place. It's a great kingdom in Africa. Look around. This person is missing, if I can actually make my way to the roof, this person is missing some salt, which was used as money during this time period, and so without the money they can't do the business they need to do. We'll platform over to the right, up over this wall, watch out for snakes, and into the Timbuktu Inn. So talk to the guy up here on this highest platform. He has a lot of documents for sale, including one that should not be in this time period. In order to get that document, which is, believe it or not, the U.S. Declaration of Independence, he will ask for our help in assembling a picture. The picture is, basically a jigsaw puzzle. It's a portrait of some kind, and I recommend approaching this as you would any jigsaw puzzle. Find the border pieces first, try to sort of loosely find the proper shape of the puzzle, and then start filling in the middle. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's not too hard. It's about 3 pieces wide and a little more than that tall, 5 or 6 pieces tall. I guess that's 6. I can math. The pieces, once you put them together, will snap together, so you can start dragging around bigger and bigger pieces of it. And yeah, just keep putting it together. Just speed up the video here for you so we don't need to watch my fumbling at this puzzle. Also, for some reason it's giving me credit for having completed it now, even though technically it's still in 2 pieces. But hey, we can see it's a portrait of the great king, Masa Musa. And as a result of that, I have got the Declaration of Independence. So that's all I can do in this time period for now. Let's keep moving on around the circle. Now we go to the time of Leonardo Da Vinci. He's got his workshop up the hill somewhere. Move our way on up there. Leonardo is very famous, not as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but as an artist, inventor, what they call a Renaissance man, somebody who could do really almost anything he put his mind to, just a real genius. So the first thing we'll do is, if you see the thing hanging down from this platform that I'm on, try to get to that. If I jump on the highest platform on this pulley system, it will move all the rest of the platforms. Now head down to the one that is now in the center of that gap and just do a targeted jump to leap over there and grab the piece metal. So we've grabbed the item that is out of place in this timeline. As long as we're here, let's head up into the workshop and see if we can find out what's missing. Again, if you were trying to play this island as quickly as possible, you could just warp straight ahead at this point, but you know, I'm trying to show you the full experience here. I'm trying to give you the full flavor of Time Tangled Island. So here we are in the workshop. That is not Leonardo. Leonardo is up on the upper level. You can see he's working on a lot of really cool, interesting things. That's the Poptropican version of the Mona Lisa, his most famous painting. And he's missing his notebook. Okay, if we keep our eye out for a notebook. If we find one, we'll bring it back here. So heading around the circle, again, we'll end up in the Mayan Empire. We're starting to get closer and closer to the present day. There's a conquistador hiding in the corn there, Cortez the Killer. Most people are pretty friendly here. The queen is mourning the loss of a piece of the sunstone, which is very important to this civilization. We'll head to the right, and our first sign of trouble is this guard here who whacks you with the board, but you can easily jump over him and keep running. You can climb up here, missing piece of the sunstone, no problem. Head on to the right and climb this last pyramid. That's all the way on the right. Up at the top is an older fellow who will give you this cool mask. Just for free. Just don't even have to give him anything. You can put the warrior headdress right on. And you will need to do this. This is what will make the warrior with the little baton or bat, whatever it is, stop hitting you. Now when you talk to him, he'll give you this pair of goggles. This is another item that is out of place that we'll need to return to a different timeline. That's all we can do here for now. So let's head on out to China. Here we are at the construction of the Great Wall of China, which still doesn't narrow things down because it probably took hundreds, if not more, years to build it. But anyway, watch out for falling blocks. They're all over the place. Head to the upper right, talk to this gentleman. He is wearing an amulet around his neck, which looks a lot like the one that the Vikings were talking about earlier. He challenges you to a game and he'll give it to you. So remember the position of that tile he talks about. And then what I do here is usually just follow the tile around with my cursor. I usually just try to track it. Then you don't even really have to remember it. You just have to keep your eye on it and follow it with your finger, basically. At this point, click on it. You can do this game as many times as you need. There's no real trick to it. Get the amulet. There's something else in this scene as well that we need for Viking times, as this barrel of gunpowder down here. And of course, at this point, if you want to just jet, you can. But I'm going to keep moving along here, both to show you how to get through the scene. See, there's a moving platform and a rope. And to just talk to this guy, see what's missing. Stone bowl. So if we find a stone bowl, bring it right back here and put things right at the building of the Great Wall. Again, move on. This now is going to take us to revolutionary times. Very exciting. This is the Graph House, which is the location where Thomas Jefferson wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. Fun fact, the first public reading of the Declaration was actually about a block away from Poptropica's office in Boston at the old State House. The salt rocks that we need is up on the roof here, and I'm going to continue to a different time period to try to keep gathering things before I start repairing time periods. So let's move along, and we are now on the Lewis and Clark expedition. You remember I already picked up the peace medal just when I was in Leonardo's time. So simply by talking to either Lewis or Clark, I give it back, and that is the first time period that we've repaired, which is pretty cool. Now up here is, I guess, a beaver who has the stone bowl. You just need to jump at the right time when he pokes his head out, and you'll pick up the stone bowl for China. So that's good. This is our first trip to this time period, and we're done with everything we need to do here. That's pretty cool. So head to Menlo Park, New Jersey, where we're at the workshop of Thomas Edison. This was the first appearance of Thomas Edison on Poptropica, but maybe not his most famous. He was a significant character in Mystery Train, you may remember as well. It was the theft of his invention that started the whole mystery off. I've jumped up on this little car thing and clicked to activate it. Now I can just enjoy the ride until it brings me under this tree. From here I'm going to jump up into the tree. All the branches are platforms. You don't have to land anywhere really in particular. And when you get high enough, you can leap over the chimney and pick up that piece of the sunstone. Now, since I'm here, as long as I'm here, I've got the phonograph. Remember, it was actually maybe the first thing I collected, so we'll go inside and give that to Thomas Edison. Too many famous Thomases. There he is up. Wait, that's not him. Oh, sorry, Thomas. You'd think I would know better. There you go. Here's your phonograph. Another time period repaired. That means I can't listen to the phonograph anymore, which is too bad, because if you hit the play button on that, you will actually hear the original audio from Thomas Edison's phonograph, which is pretty cool. But we'll move on to, I guess, 1880s France. This is at the building, or the carving, or the sculpting, I guess, of the Statue of Liberty, which was a gift to the American people from the people of France. Climb the scaffolding here and see pieces of the copper statue. The Statue of Liberty is kind of famously a green color, but that's because copper, when it corrodes or oxidizes, turns green. That's why if you look at it now, it's green and not copper, but in fact, the color you see here is what it looked like when it was originally sculpted. Here's our missing item. Our item out of place is Leonardo's notebook. And again, if we go into the workshop here, right now we have not found the item that needs to go back here, but we can talk to the sculptor, who reveals that he has a little model, sort of his guide for what the bigger statue will look like, and it's missing. Without it, he can't do any more work on the real statue. So we go to the last time period that we haven't been to yet. This is Mount Everest. It is the first expedition known to have reached the top of Mount Everest and returned safely. This was, of course, famously the Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay expedition. Watch out for that little bridge of snow there that will collapse. Again, Mount Everest has appeared elsewhere on Poptropica, on Cryptids Island. You climb it with the help of a guide in a search for the Yeti, or abominable snowman, who I think probably doesn't really exist. So up here we reach a camp at which the expedition has halted because Edmund Hillary has lost his goggles. Well, you remember we picked those up in the Mayan period, so talk to him and give him his goggles, and now they can continue up to the top of Mount Everest, and so shall we, because something we need is going to be found up at the very top. There's a little bit more of a challenge here with the falling icicles. In actuality, the falling ice on Mount Everest are things the size of houses that you don't want to get hit by. There it is. How did the Statue of Liberty get at the very top of Mount Everest, where there is almost no breathable air? Best not to ask questions. But now we have recovered, I think, every item and can get to work really rapidly repairing all of these time periods. And for the most part, that's going to be a lot easier than finding the items were. Not in every case, though. So again, I'm going to go mostly around. Let's go back to the Viking time, because there's a couple different things we need to do there. So first things first, give this guy his amulet. Very easy to do. As is always the case in Time Tangled, you just need to talk to him and select the appropriate dialogue. There you go, Thor's hammer. Maybe you can go to Poptropica realms with that. Now you remember also this cave was blocked off. We picked up that barrel of gunpowder back in China. Don't have to use the item here either. I actually thought that I did. Just click and this will blow up. So here's a bit of a challenging game. You have a torch, and the torch will gradually go out as you're in the cave. So if you take too long to try to find what you're looking for, it'll go out and you'll be returned to the mouth of the cave. You also can't fall into this water here, or else it will go out and you'll be returned to the mouth of the cave. But as you can see, I've made my way through pretty easily, and now when I touch this, it's just lit up. And there actually is the one item that we had not found yet, the golden vase, which belongs in the time of the ancient Greeks. I'll give it back to one of these guards. I don't remember if it's the... So it's not the one on the left, it's the one on the right. The vase reappears in the scene, and as a reward, they will tell me that I can go talk to the oracle on the hill. So if you were stuck, if you were trying to make your way through this on your own without the help of a walkthrough, what I would say to you is to try to do this part as early as possible, because when you talk to the oracle, she will tell you about where the missing items are, or about who needs the missing items. So she'll give you hints within the context of the game, rather than just straight up cheating by watching this video. You're not cheating, I love you guys. So I guess having heard about Leonardo specifically, I feel sort of guilty now and obligated to give him back his notebook. So you remember how we got to his workshop before. Sadly, the location of the platforms on this pulley system is not saved, so not as though it's actually difficult or a pain to do this, but come on, I did the work. Come on, stay there. Oh well. We'll head into the workshop and go on up to talk to Leonardo. This is one that is a little different from some of the rest. When I give him his notebook, here you go, here's your notebook. I could have probably used it to become famous myself. He gives me this glider. This is a kind of a costume piece that, when you put it on, allows you to jump much further. So if you remember quite a while ago, we looked at that Viking costume back here in the Viking time period. Well, this is how you get it. Go all the way up to the top of this rock, put on your glider, and then jump. Actually go up a little bit higher, I think. Oh, just get a running start. There we go. And easily glide over and pick up this Viking costume. This, unlike a lot of costumes, is not customizable piece by piece. It's all or nothing. But enjoy it. This is the only place on Poptropica where you can get this costume. And there's nowhere else that you need the glider, but you can use it as much as you want, and it is pretty fun. It does allow you to experience Poptropica in a new way. Alright, back here in Mali, remember they were looking for the salt rocks, and fortunately the woman who was looking for the salt rocks is not terribly far away. So just jump up to this roof and return what is rightfully hers. And that is another time period repaired. And now we're really sort of steaming toward the end here. We'll go back to the Mayans and we'll give them their sunstone. You remember the sunstone was not on the first pyramid. It was on the second pyramid. I'm still wearing the headdress, so this guy is not battering me, and that's nice. I got that going for me. Talk to this person up here and replace the sunstone piece. Yet another time period repaired. Move on to the next. This will be back at the Great Wall of China. They were missing a stone bowl. So again, the falling bricks from the wall are kind of the only real challenge here, but if you just keep moving, they don't really affect you that much. It's kind of more for show. If you stop in one of these areas, you might get hit, but as you see, I'm moving pretty swiftly through here and not running into any actual problems. Here's your stone bowl. Repel those Mongol hordes. Moving right along, I have no idea why I didn't give Thomas Jefferson the Declaration of Independence the first time that I came here. I guess it's that I want to make sure people have something to criticize in my play. So go walk into a porcupine, why not? Once again, there's a couple different people in here. We're looking for Thomas Jefferson, surrounded by flies, as you are. There's the Declaration of Independence, time period repaired. Move along. Oh, only one left. Gotta go give him his statuette. Again, remember the sculptor. I don't speak French, so I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Remember, he was inside the workshop. Over to the right. Easy peasy. And that's it. That's the last item that was out of time. So, having repaired all of these different time periods, you'll see the lab is flashing on the timepiece now. So we'll head back there and we'll try once again to head into the future and see if we have indeed averted the bad future, the bad timeline. Sometimes it seems like we're living in the bad timeline right now, but I digress. Don't need to talk to them. Go ahead and charge up the machine. Here it is, a moment of truth. What does the future hold? Here we have it. Looks pretty good. This is the repaired future, the good future, where the world is being well taken care of. Energy is renewable. Everybody's happy. There are robot butlers. There's probably some more stuff that we haven't thought about yet. But the point here is, if you remember, we saw our future selves way back at the beginning in the bad timeline, so maybe we're somewhere here in the good timeline. Jump on top of this monorail, you'll see that updraft that you can ride. Use that to go onto the monorail above. Stick the landing. There's a green platform up here, but this is not actually where we want to go. I'm just taking a look around at Wind Power Tower. Now ride this moving platform up to the top of this building, and then over here is a doorway to go inside. Future, you can apparently just walk right into somebody's house and it's cool. Their robots won't even attack you. But actually this is, yes, it's my future apartment. My future self now knows we have taken care of everything. There's my island medallion. And that's how you play all the way through Time Tangled Island. Again, January of 2017. Bonus credits for finishing Time Tangled Island, even if you've played it before. So head on over to poptropica.com right now and play Time Tangled Island. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing Poptropica.